I'm Richard Crossman. I was Tony Blair's communication director, really from the very first period when Tony was elected in 1994 through 2007. I first met Tony Blair when I was a reporter with the Daily Express. That was in the mid-1980s. And it was clear to me at that very early stage that this was a Labour politician on the way up. He was a bright, young Labour MP, great potential, and would one day have a significant role to play in the Labour Party. When Tony became leader of the Labour Party in May of 1994, it was obvious that this was a fundamental change in the Labour Party. The excitement around his appointment was reflected particularly in the October 1994 meeting of the Labour Party, where at the conference he talked about New Labour and New Britain. And that really set down a marker for the changes that Tony wanted to bring to the party and the roadmap he set out for government. In the 1997 election, Tony was very unsure and uncertain about the likely success of the Labour Party at the election. As the early results started to come in, Tony was more and more confident that Labour would win, and the real issue then started to be how big would the majority be. And as the night went on, and as more results came in, as more Labour seats were claimed, it was obvious that the election was going to be a landslide. And that optimism that came out of the landslide victory was reflected in that acceptance speech that Tony gave in the early hours of the morning. And he talked about a new dawn, which really was all about Britain fundamentally changing under Labour from now on. Well, there are two types of achievement that Tony Blair can claim credit for. The first was to change the Labour Party. And this was done very early. It was done at the October 1994 conference, where the Section 4 of the Labour Party Constitution, which called for nationalisation, was switched to Britain as a market economy. The second achievement was the achievements of government. And we can point to many, getting closer to the EU, minimum wage legislation, gay rights, education reform. But I think the most significant was the Good Friday Agreements, the Northern Ireland peace agreements, which really ended a period of troubles in Northern Ireland that had plagued Britain and Ireland for several decades.